Hello and welcome back to some more Bitburners. So in the last video I showed you guys how to make your corporation go public and also how to issue yourself dividends so that you can actually purchase some of your augmentation and progress through the game. I also modified some of our existing corporation scripts so that we can better support the automation of the division creation process. It's actually been 2 weeks since I played this game since the last upload. Mainly because I was busy with work and assignments and also a hackathon. That I didn't have the time to juggle between all of them. Otherwise, if I juggled between all of them, I would have been burnt out. So I had to drop at least one of them to get the rest out of the way and then focus on this again. So I apologize for the delay. But in today's video, I'm gonna be creating a script called Corporation Division Manager. I already got it started just so that I guess the this video doesn't take way too long. But essentially, I just created a initial plan of what I'm gonna be doing. So whenever I create scripts, I generally look at all the inputs that I'm gonna need, and then also the main logic. But for bigger scripts like this, like the division manager, I also research some of the functions I'm gonna need to achieve whatever I'm trying to achieve, and then from these I then define some of the inputs that I'm gonna need and also the main logic. I'm not gonna read through the entire main logic, mainly because this is the initial draft, and the stuff that's here right now on your screen, it may change when I start implementing it and putting it into practice. um, so yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna code up everything and then get back to you as soon as I finish. Alright, so looks like I managed to finish the Corporation Division Manager script. This one actually took a while to actually make because I had to manually keep backing up my save and then re-importing it over and over again. But I think I finally have something that's a little bit more stable, and hopefully you guys don't experience any errors when using this. So just to give a bit of a demo on how it works, basically if we go to this corporation tab, what it does is that it automatically buys the division for you. It's going to prompt you for the industry name and also the division name. But basically the management, so the hiring of the employees, allocating them to the appropriate places, and then also researching the required items, all of that will be outsourced to the actual division script. So how you run it is by just calling the corporation division manager script like this. It's gonna give you errors, but uh, it's the error message. It basically prints out how you use it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna copy this message here and then paste it across to my terminal window. Basically, the syntax here is that anything that is surrounded with square brackets means that it's optional. So we're just gonna remove this minimum warehouse capacity. What we're required to specify though are the industry name, the division name, the required employees, and then the production budget. So for the industry name, I want to expand to the robotics industry, and I'm gonna call the division Robotico. And then for the required employees, I'm gonna hire 1,000 employees for each city. And the reason for this is because it's gonna generate the research points a lot faster. And then for the production budget, so this one is actually used by the corporation product manager if it's not running. But if it's already running, then this value isn't used. So I'm just gonna set it as 20E21, which is the current value in our corporation product manager. And then if we run this, basically what it's doing is that it's gonna try to hire employees for every single city and then expand to the next city automatically if you don't have all the cities. So you can see here that it's automatically hiring 1,000 employees and then allocating all of them to research and development. Eventually, what it's going to do is that as soon as we unlock market TA1, it's actually going to reallocate our employees to the I guess the generic employee distribution. But for now, everyone will be in research and development. If we go to the corporations menu here, you would see that only sector 12 would have the warehouse, so everything here wouldn't have the warehouse. And the reason for this is because there's really no point in purchasing the warehouse if we don't have any sort of means to sell products. So what I did was the only time it would purchase a warehouse is the moment that we research the market TA1 upgrade, which allows us to sell the products at the market value. You would also see here that we're trying to generate products. If I guess there's already it's producing stuff. But basically this thing is caused by the product manager, so it's automatically trying to develop the product for this division for us. And if we just leave it, it's gonna do its thing and it's gonna manage the corporation for us. So if we expand this research tab, you would see that it automatically purchased the high-tech R&D lab, and I think the next thing it's gonna purchase is the market TA1. So it's mainly just a waiting game. So you just let it run, and then eventually it's gonna create a more profitable division for you. All right. So as we wait for that, let's jump into the code. So before going into this corporation division manager, I just want to highlight a bug in the corporation recruiter that I had to fix. When I was testing this, there was some issues with hiring the employees. It wasn't hiring all the employees you need for the office. So what I changed was instead of hiring the number of employees to the size that we upgraded, we're just gonna hire all the employees based on the required value. And then what it's gonna do is that it's gonna make sure that the office space is always full. So yeah, so that's the bug that I fixed. And then onto the division manager. So if we scroll up to the very top, you would see a whole lot of constants. So I have the minimum funds. Basically, this minimum funds represents the minimum threshold that your script can actually purchase stuff with. Otherwise, it's gonna wait until it goes over that minimum threshold. And the reason for this is because, like I said in the previous videos, the moment that you outsource the I guess the responsibility for managing your division to a script is the moment that you basically put yourself at risk of becoming bankrupt. So this one prevents you from becoming bankrupt. And then down here you have your default warehouse capacity, which is just the warehouse capacity that we expect our warehouse to be in. And then all the cities, your default max products, your default max upgrades. But all of this basically plays a role in within the logic of the main logic of this corporation division manager. Moving down into the main function, basically we request for 4 arguments and then a fifth optional one. So we require the user to input the industry name, the division name, the required employees, and then the production budget. And then up here we extract the corporation API from the NetScript module. Scrolling down to the main logic at the bottom, basically when the script runs, the first thing we do is we check whether or not we have the division, so whether that division already exists. If it doesn't exist, then we create the division for that industry. Inside the main loop, the first thing we do is we grab the division object so that we can query things like the cities, the products, and whatnot. And then we run the researcher script for that division. And the reason for this is because basically we just want to automatically manage the research without us having to manually watch the division. Then down here we check whether or not the product manager is running so that we don't have to manage the creation of the product. So we just want to make sure that that's running in our home. And if it's already running, then we don't have to worry about anything. And then moving down here, so we go through every single city that our division currently supports, and then we check whether or not we should upgrade the city. So the should upgrade has a whole bunch of conditions, which I'm going to go through when we're actually going into that code. And then if we should upgrade the city, then we actually upgrade the city. And then all of that has a whole bunch of, again, logic inside it that basically just the step-by-step instructions for tending one of the cities. We also want to make sure that smart supply is enabled for that city so that we don't have to worry about managing the stuff that we have to buy. We also want to make sure that the market TA is enabled for both materials and products. And then as soon as it finishes going through every single city and then tending that, we then check whether or not we have any unowned cities. And then if we have any unknown cities, then that's when we purchase a new city and then we just expand to that city. So this is how it automatically expands to new sectors or new cities. And then as soon as it expands to the new city, we then check whether or not we have all the products, and also we have all the cities unlocked already. And then the moment that we have all the products and and also all the cities, that's when we start the marketer script, just so that it can automatically increase the product's popularity or the division's popularity, so that we can increase the sale price. So that's the basically the logical flow of the this division manager here. Moving into this has division function. Basically, how we check this is that we basically just retrieve the division object from the corporation API. And what this does is that if the division doesn't exist, then it throws the error. Otherwise, it's gonna not fail. So we wrap it around the try catch statement. If it throws an error, it's gonna return false. If it doesn't, then it's gonna return true. And then down here we create the division. So creating the division is pretty much simple. So basically we just extract the industry cost, and then we wait for enough money to actually purchase that industry cost. So if we go to this wait for funds, basically what this does is that it sleeps every 2 seconds and then waits whether or not we have enough money to actually purchase this the amount. And then if we have the required amount, then that's when we expand to that industry and then purchase the industry, and then the new create a new division. Inside this while loop, if we go to this should upgrade city, basically there's a few conditions that I check. But this can be extended if there's more, I guess, conditions to handle. But these are things that just pops into my head whenever I'm managing a division. So the first thing we check is whether or not we have insufficient employees. So if we, I guess, if we have 3 employees, but we require at least 1,000 employees, then it means that we should upgrade the city. So we should probably do something about it. Uh, Otherwise, we also check whether or not we have the market TA upgrade, and also there's no operations employees, meaning that we can sell products, but we don't really have anyone to create the products, mainly because everyone's currently researching the product, or the researching a whole bunch of stuff for the division. We check this, so we can sell products, but we don't have any ops, so it has market TA, and we don't have anyone in the operations job, so we should also upgrade the city if that happens. The next thing I also check is whether or not it doesn't have any warehouse. So again, I make sure that we have market TA1 before I start upgrading things, mainly because we need at least the market TA1 to sell to optimize our sale price, so we don't have to worry about it or manage it ourselves. So it's either we don't have any warehouse or we don't have enough capacity that we specified here. So if any of these conditions, I guess passes, so it's either we don't have enough employees, or we can't produce products, or we don't have a warehouse, or we don't have enough warehouse capacity, then that's when we upgrade the city. For upgrading the city, it's basically there's just a function for every single condition. If we have insufficient employees, then obviously we're gonna hire employees. And how this works is that this hire employees is that I pass in the default recruiter arguments, and then I check whether or not we have market TA1 unlocked. If we don't have that, then we want to assign everyone to R&D so that we can unlock the I guess this research a lot faster. And then we just run the recruiter script to reallocate or hire employees that we need. The second one is checking whether or not we have the market TA so we can sell stuff but we can't produce stuff. And if this happens, then we just run the recruiter script to basically just reallocate the employees to the standard job distribution so that we don't have to worry about it, and we're producing products. The next one is has market TA but no warehouse. So basically what this means is that we don't really have any storage to store our stuff in. Then that's when we grab the purchase warehouse cost, and then we wait for the funds. So wait until we have enough money, and then as soon as we have enough money, then that's when we purchase the warehouse. And then as soon as we purchase the warehouse, we can then check whether or not we have enough capacity. And then basically it's the same logic, but the only difference is that it upgrades the warehouse using this variable here. So 5 times, it's gonna upgrade it 5 times. So yeah, so that's what happens every time we go through the every single city. The next thing is enable smart supply. So this one just enables the smart supply upgrade if we have it. So I check whether or not we unlocked it for a corporation. And then also we check whether or not we have a warehouse. I discovered that if you don't have a warehouse for your division and you try to enable the smart supply, it basically throws an error. It says that we haven't expanded to it, but we did. So you need to make sure that you check whether or not the warehouse exists before you start unlocking these upgrades. So if these condition passes, then we basically set the smart supply to true, and then we also make sure that every single material uses the leftover whenever we're supplying them. The next check I do for every single city is ensuring that market TA is enabled. Basically what this does is that it goes through every single material and every single product, and then make sure that the market TA1 is enabled for every single material or product, and also market TA2 is enabled if that's unlocked. So you could see it here. So if we have, I guess, the warehouse, then we sell the material. And the reason why this check is important is because you can't actually sell products if you don't have warehouse for your division. So yeah, so that's what it is. And then we check whether or not we have researched the market TA1, and then if we do, then we set the market TA1, so we enable market TA1 for each material and products. And then if market TA2 is enabled, then we also enable that for the materials and the products. So the next one is basically just getting the unowned cities. So unknown cities is basically just comparing the cities that we've unlocked for the division. So this one, so owned cities, with every single city that's available in the game. So all cities, and then we filter out the ones that doesn't exist yet on that division. And then if we do have any unowned cities, then we just retrieve the first one in the stack. It doesn't matter what it is. So we just grab it, and then we check the cost for expanding to that new city. and then we wait until we have enough money, and then as soon as we do have enough money, that's when we expand to that city. And then obviously the last thing is checking the products and then checking whether or not we have unlocked everything, and then running the marketer script right after that. Let's double check the terminal. You can see here that it's already reallocating stuff. And then if we go back to the corporations tab and then open this, you would see that we've unlocked market TA1, so that's the reason why it started reallocating stuff. And I think it's waiting for market TA2, but it's automatically gonna do it for us. And you would see here that our corporation's already generating about $1.18 billion dollars, and that was throughout the time that I was speaking to you guys and explaining the code. So everything is basically fully automated, so the division's fully automated, the management of the division, and if you want to expand to a new division you can basically just check the expand tab and then see which industry you can expand to, and then just run the script again and it's gonna do the thing. But yeah, basically it's just run, leave, and set and forget, basically. So that's the automation of the division for you. So yeah, so I feel like I pretty much did everything I could for the corporations here. I don't really have anything else that comes to mind. So I guess in the next video, what I'm gonna be doing is that I'm gonna be upgrading the launch fleet script so that it works, I guess, for the home server, and then also addresses some of the issues that you guys raised over time. But that's gonna come next week, so I'll see you guys in the next one.